Hey, it's Alex, and this video is about the importance of, or rather, how using the correct pronouns and misgendering me affects me personally, because this video is obviously going to be about my personal experiences. Now, there's people that possibly have gone through the same thing as me and feel the same way, that are transgender or gender non-conforming, and there's also people that have not gone through this, but I'm just saying my experience. And I'm also making this video because hopefully the people that are in my life watch these videos, and I want you to keep this in mind when you're talking to me. Like, the way that you talk to me really affects me sometimes, like, and I don't want you to tiptoe around me, because I think some of you have realized or have seen that I will tell you if I'm uncomfortable, or like how you should speak to me. But yeah, also, if you don't know me at all and you're watching this video and you have a transgender person in your life, this is how you should probably speak to them, or keep this in mind. Or if you're transgender, I hope you can relate, or do you relate? And I'm also gonna, if you're pre-T, I'm also gonna say tips, or if you're transgender, I'm gonna say tips on how I try to cope with this. And so yeah, let's just get into this. So the first thing I want to talk about is I want to clear up why this is such an issue, why talking to a person who's transitioning a certain way is important. It's important because, I mean, in general, if somebody's going through something in their life, I don't think you would say, like, you talk about it so flippantly, like, like it doesn't matter. Like, I feel like something that bothers me is when I talk about my transition, some people will say, oh, you're just, this was going to happen to you, so you have to realize that. And it's like, I don't know, like, I guess I should just let it fall off my back or something, that I feel some type of way because I'm going through this transition. Like, I don't know. I don't know if the person's not trying to offend me. They're probably not, but I don't like when people talk like that. I just feel like people should have a little bit more sympathy when you're talking to someone that's transitioning, because it really affects me throughout the rest of the day. Like, just the way you say something can really change someone's feelings about themselves, especially when it's so fragile. And I don't want to say that I'm a fragile person. Like, I'm not. I'm going through this transition realistically. I know that it's not easy. I know that people are not going to probably view me as female at all, ever, and that's fine. Like, I know how I view myself as a male. I don't care how feminine you think I act. I don't care what you think about it at all. And that's basically it. Like, you can have your own opinion about what I'm going through, my transition, but if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. And that's how you just treat any situation in general, like, that's basically it. So that's the issue, is like, because I'm going through a transition, you think you can say something to me because you know me, and it's not going to bother me. And maybe you just don't know what is right and what is wrong. And I'm gonna say a few things that people have actually said to me, so maybe that can clear it up. I don't know. I don't know if I just came off really bitchy, but and maybe that's feminine, and that's something, you know, people say like, oh, you. I guess I should just get into what people say to me. I guess this is what's gonna be what people have said to me that I have made me feel some type of way. One of the things people have said to me is when people ask me about my surgeries, or say, oh, but your boobs are getting small, you need to have surgery. I mean, sorry for saying boobs. I mean, I'm not really good with that trigger warning stuff, but I don't really like when people say, I don't like when people talk about my breasts, and I don't think you should say that to me. Like, if I'm saying that I want surgery, you know, I mean, I guess you're, saying something like, oh, you don't really need it is a nice thing to say, but I mean, I don't know. I don't want to come off like an a-hole, but like, I don't know. That makes me uncomfortable. I'm sorry. And that's the thing too, like, I feel like I have to say sorry that things make me uncomfortable. Like, it just does. I don't know. Like, if you have big breasts, I wouldn't say like, oh, well, and you wanted a breast reduction, I wouldn't tell you like, but they're fine that big, I would just be like, oh, wow, really? I mean, if I'm thinking of having surgery, don't you think like it bothers me? I don't know. Also about my name, people that wonder what they should call me. I mean, if I'm transitioning, don't you think you should, into a male, don't you think you should just call me in a male name? Like, my name's Alex. Everyone calls me Alex. Or like Alexandra is my name. Everyone knows that. If I'm changing my name, it would be to Alexander or Alex. I like having a long name, so I would probably change it to Alexander, and I don't think that's an issue. I don't know. When people call me she or her, or like sister or daughter, like, sorry to my family if you feel some type of way about what I'm about to say, or in this video in general. Like, I just have to say it. That hurts my feelings. It makes, in general, but when people call you, when you're going through a transition and someone calls you she, and you look at yourself and you're like, I just told everybody I'm transitioning, I'm going through this, it's been a couple months. Like, in the beginning, I didn't expect people to quickly change and call me she. There's people that call me she, and I'm still like, because I can't say nothing, because I feel like, oh yeah, it is a transition. For me to call me he, sometimes I'm like, I understand, because it is a change, and I don't know, like, it's just like it's invalidating. I'm sorry, like, it makes me feel like I'm going through this for no reason, and no, I'm not weak enough that affects me, and I'm not gonna go through this. But I'm just saying, like, you really will ruin my day. Like, you will make me think like this is for no reason, and it's like, I'm doing this for a reason. I would not do this to myself for no reason. Like, I don't know. As I said, it makes people feel like, you makes a transgender person feel like, or at least for me, feel like you're never gonna see me differently. And it's like, even if that's the case, maybe you fake it, because maybe one day you will see me differently. Look at me, I'm changing. I feel like something that really bothered me when I began to transition was, or when I tell people now, I guess, and they didn't know before, like, what made you feel like you feel like a boy? Like, I don't know. I hate that question. I think I said in one of my other videos, like, I hate that question. I don't know. Like, I just don't feel right. I don't feel right, and I didn't feel right in my body. For me to change, I did not feel right. Like, I would not do this for no reason. Again, also when I started to transition, people would tell me, "Oh, maybe you're not happy with yourself." Obviously, I'm not happy with myself with the way I look. That's what the point. Like when I transitioned, it was really like the way that I look was not the way that people treated me because I wasn't a boy, because I didn't look like a boy, because I wasn't a male. Really affected how I saw myself, how I lived my life. I was not happy because I felt like I wasn't living genuine, and nobody was seeing me for me, and like I wasn't either. When people tell me, "Oh, but you're a beautiful girl," okay, I don't know. Thanks, but I didn't like anything. I mean, I don't want to come off like a dick. I'm sorry, but when people tell me like, "Oh, you were a beautiful girl," I'm like, thank you, but I'd rather be seen as an ugly man. I don't even know, like, honestly. When people talk about and then it's also I want to say that also I want to say that for people that ask me these questions, like, why did I go through my transition or stuff like that, and you're genuinely asking because you want to know, and you you know, want to educate yourself, I'm not going to treat you any type of way. Please don't feel that way. I will talk to you, but you know, don't come off like you're trying to offend me. But either way, I probably would tell you if you're offending me, or I just wouldn't answer you. When people ask me, what if you don't like this, or what about you having children, like in one of my other videos I mentioned like I wouldn't even want to carry children. I've never imagined carrying children in my life, and that's kind of none of your business. Like, if I don't like this at the end, I'm gonna have to deal with that. If I can't have children, I'm gonna have to deal with that. Like, you know, this is my body. I don't understand. Like, I know that you are, if you're like a family member or a close friend, worried about me medically, because that's what a lot of people say, like, oh, you don't know what these hormones can do to your body, and I understand that. But a lot of me would rather go through this and like them tell me like, oh, well, something happened, I don't know, like, I would be happy because I was me. I don't know. I'm sorry, but that's true. So something else that people talk about or ask me about and think they can is, am I going to have bottom surgery? I talked about top surgery in the beginning, about bottom surgery. Don't ask me about that. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, don't ask me about that. It's nobody's business unless I'm going to date you, and I would I would probably tell you, like, unless we're like going to be intimate with each other, that's the only person that would want to know that, you know, like, don't mention that to me. You should not mention that to anybody. That's like none of your business. I would never ask you about your like, I can't even say it. Okay, so the next two are comments that people have made to me, and I feel like they're for the gender norms that society has put on genders, and it's for about my things that I do that are feminine, like that I just did that, talk with my hands or move a certain way, and also about my hair, whether I would cut it or not. People, like, I just cut my hair yesterday, but not because I'm transitioning into a man. I cut it because I have curly hair and I don't like to deal with it. I mean, they even cut it way shorter than I thought they would, but that's all good. This is cool. I never had a haircut like this. I had a long mohawk that I had grown out for 2 years. But yeah, I just didn't want to deal with the curls no more. I didn't even show them. A lot of people, I don't think, really even saw my hair anyway. And oh, if you are my friend and you think you're telling me like, oh, you're that thing that you did was really feminine, like, I don't know, sometimes, I mean, I don't know, like, this is the way I am. I don't want to always feel like, I don't know, I don't want to feel like I'm always clocking myself, like, oh, what you're doing might be feminine, and people are watching you, and you always have to be masculine, and emulating masculinity. And because I feel like when you're transitioning, if you're transitioning into male to female, or female to male, you feel like you have to emulate that to such an extent. And it's like, I don't know, like, this is who I am. Just because you think something is feminine, and like, I don't know, like, I don't really care. I did care, and I guess I do still care, but I'm just starting to care less because I'm my own person. I'm not gonna watch everything I do wondering whether or not that's gonna make somebody else think that I'm a female, or am I a transgender, like, whatever. Like, I show that I am anyway, and I'm proud of it. So, I don't know. I would only be afraid if, I was somewhere that people didn't like the fact that I was transgender. Which also, like, if we're out in public and you're somebody that knows me, please, and I look like a male and people are referring to me as male, like, calling me she makes other people look at me a certain type of way, and it's happened to me many times. That's why I'm saying it. Like, people look at me and they are staring at me now because you just called me she, and they probably thought I was male, and when I talk I sound like a man, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't mean to sound angry in this video or mean, but because I'm not angry at all. It's just like I'm also venting about it, I guess, because I don't really talk to anybody about this, or like, I don't really talk about this really, unless I'm talking to the people that are doing it to me. But yeah. So for the people that are going through this, I feel like I generally live life in a way that I expect the worst, and I'm not saying like you should live that way at all. Then I'm not saying that I live life bad either. Like, I definitely am optimistic, like, for the most part. Like, I don't want bad stuff to happen to me. I try to live life positive, and I'm just saying that I don't expect much of people, and I don't expect them to respect me neither. And that doesn't mean I don't tell them to respect me, because you very much should, and you should stand up for yourself and always do that. And just be proud of yourself, be proud of who you are. Never let nobody tell you who you are. Never feel bad for being who you are. And yeah, I hope you the best, both people who are transgender and people who are not. And I hope you took something from this video, and I thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.